Thank you to Christopher Arnold for these 3 suggestions. Hello everybody, this is JT Productions and welcome back to another preview and prediction video. Today I'll be doing the Florida Gators. Let's get to it. Last year, Florida went 6-7, 2-6 in the SEC with, to finish the season, a loss to Central Florida, losing the battle for Florida, sadly in the process. Oh, I'm so sad for you. Anyways, they had losses last year to Alabama by 1 possession at home, at Kentucky by 1 possession, at LSU by 1 possession in a shootout, a blowout by Georgia, a blowout at South Carolina, and then a close loss at Missouri. So if you think about it, if those close losses would have went their way, they would have went 10-2, which put in perspective, could have probably saved Dan Mullen his job, but it didn't. And now you have Billy Napier, which you're probably a lot happier about. Anyways, let's see what they're working with this year. Florida Gators returned Justin Shorter, Xavier Henderson, Trent Whittemore, a lot of their wide receivers. Florida's always got good wide receivers. They also have Keon Zipperer and Anthony Richardson and Naquan Ryan, DeMarcus Bowman, Lorenzo Lingard in the backfield. So they should be fine in the backfield. They also got a transfer in from Louisiana Lafayette, where Billy Napier came from, in Montrell Johnson, who could end up being the starter for the Gators. On the offensive line, you have Richard Gorage, Redshirt Sr., Ethan White Sr., Kingsley Aguakun, Redshirt Jr., Osiris Torrance, senior transfer from Louisiana as well, and then Michael Tarquin, redshirt junior. Florida's offensive line over the past couple of years has been nothing special. It's been usable. They've been able to work around it. So we'll see how it turns out this year. I'm not high on it, as you can tell. So we'll see. On the defensive side, you have some juniors on the D-lines and a good D-tackle in Gervon Dexter, however you say it. And then Jalen Lee and Princely Umanumanitta. I don't know how to say that. And then linebacker, you have one of the best players on this defense, and Brenton Cox Jr., redshirt senior transfer. He was at Georgia for a year, decided to go to Florida. Claims they're going to beat Georgia this year. Oh, we'll see about that. Ventrell Miller at middle linebacker, redshirt senior. He's pretty good. Amari Burney, senior. He's all right. Rashad Torrance in the secondary. Trey Dean, secondary. And they also got Jalen Kimber, who transferred over from Georgia. So their defense should be fine. They have Jaden Hill, who's also a senior, not a transfer. But they should be fine on the defensive side. They have been over the past couple of years, besides, say, 2020. So, let's see at their recruiting rankings. For Florida over the past few years, Florida is 10th over the past 5 years in recruiting, which is surprising because of Dan Mullen. They're fifth in the SEC for recruiting. This past cycle, they're 16th. Last year, they're 12th. 2020, 9th. 2019, 9th. And 2018, 14th. Not bad. I mean, they say Dan Mullen was a bad recruiter, which I agree. He was not the best. However, he could get talent into the building. Now, depth per se, not as much. Florida is going to have a big depth problem this year. In my opinion, it's going to hurt them in the long run. So, let's get to the schedule and see how bad this is going to be. Week 1, you start out strong, in quotations. Utah comes to town. And if you watch the last video, you will know that Utah is going to come into Gainesville, get a big win over you, and you're going to start out 0-1 in the year, going into another big game in Gainesville against Kentucky. Kentucky's going to be another good team, and they're a very physical football team under Mark Stoops, and it's going to absolutely wear on you. So you are most likely going to lose this game as well, 0-2. South Florida comes to town. You'll probably win that game. Anthony Richardson will have a career day, and you'll get your first win of the year. So, I sped through that. So, let's get a little detail into Week 4. You go to Knoxville. You have not lost to Tennessee since 2016 in Knoxville. Tennessee is returning a lot on its team. You lost a lot. You lost a good bit, not a lot, but I have a feeling that this is going to be a traditional SEC game. Very physical, goes down to the wire, but I think Tennessee will pull away in the end, and you will start out the season 1-3. This has to be one of your worst starts to a season in the first 4 weeks that we've seen in a while. It's probably not been since maybe I don't even know, but that's something to look up, I guess. You start out 1-4. Eastern Washington comes to town. I wouldn't sleep on them, but you'll probably beat them. Talent difference is going to be everything in this game. So you start out 2-3. You have Missouri coming into town. You bounce back after starting 1-3, and now you're 3-3. Missouri is one of the worst teams in the East. And I think you're going to want revenge, so I think you get the revenge on the Tigers going into the next week against LSU. Now, LSU, I think, is one of the most downgraded teams from last year to this year. LSU brings up Brian Kelly, and their offense is going to be the problem, most likely. Their defense should be fine. It's just bringing in a new culture and trying to get everybody in on that same plan and culture is very hard, especially when a team has known things one way and now trying to go to another thing. So, I think you get a win for the first time since 2018 over LSU, and now you're 4-3, completely bounced back from those 3 losses, and now you go into your bye week before facing Georgia and Jacksonville. And let me save you the long-winded explanation. You are losing to Georgia. Georgia's going to come into Jacksonville and beat you like they have the past, like they did last year, like they did 2019, like they did 2018, like they did 2017. You're not anywhere near a Georgia caliber team. So now you're back to 4-4. And then you got to go on the road the next week to Kyle Field, College Station, Texas A&M. And you're going to lose this one too. I think Texas A&M is going to have their footing at this point in the season. They're going to be a very dangerous team, and I think you're going to be You're going to suffer because of it. So 4-5. Would that be right? Let's see. Yep, 4-5. So, 4-5 going into the game against South Carolina. You're going to want to get revenge on Carolina at this point. Carolina's going to be a very improved team from last year, but I think that Billy Napier is going to have his guys ready to fight and win. He's a good coach. I'll give you that. It was a great hire by Florida, and I think you get a win at home against South Carolina. Then you have 2 back-to-back road games, one against Vanderbilt, and then one on the road at Florida State. And I think you win both. I think you beat Vanderbilt, and I think a close win over Florida State to finish the season 7-5. I guess taking a step forward from last year, but in some ways it's a step back from the talent you had. However, I think the 7-5 mark is where you're going to be at this upcoming year. You have just too much talent to waste it on a sub-6 win season. So, anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see a specific team, let me know down in the comments. And I hope you all are enjoying this series. Let's try to finish all the Power 5 teams by week 0, just like every other video I tell you. So, have a great day, and go Dawgs.